Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're gonna see what Ayesha Curry has been up to in the media. Alright, she's been trending for a time now, and is she trending for the right reasons or is she trending for the wrong reasons? Let's take a deep dive look and see what's happening. But if you want to check out this video, the full video of itself, it's entirety, you can check it out with the link in the description. Without further ado, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. All right, let's get into it.
Respectful comment also on my part. It's so
okay.
Honestly,
Okay. Thank you.
I feel like this is something that gets misconstrued.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Publicly,
Let's clear it up.
But she's gonna have to pipe down. She's not gonna be able to say much about anything.
River TV.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. Now, if you guys are unaware of what is going on, Steph and Ayesha Curry actually sat down to do an interview on the Michelle Obama podcast, and they talked about so many different things. But one portion of the interview that has stuck out and has gone viral all over social media platforms is the fact that Ayesha Curry actually admits fault to some of the things that she has said about her husband. So we're gonna go ahead.
But before we watch that, I don't know if I did a previous video where she was talking a whole lot of crazy, a whole lot of nonsense for, that's why the internet is all starting up. But you can check out that video later on, and also it's out there on the internet. But yeah, is she actually apologizing, or she realized like she caught up to some of the things that she's saying, and she get that wake up call? What it is.
And dive into the entire situation, and of course I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, and my opinion.
If I ain't having a game, or if she was nervous, or like vice versa, and like neither one of us really it was just,
I feel like this is something that gets misconstrued.
Okay.
Well,
Publicly,
Let's clear it up.
So during this conversation, they were actually talking about the two of them getting together, like, what happened, what sparked interest between the two of them, how did they go from, friendship to relationship, like what was the scene, right? And so in this moment, she decided to speak out and say, oh, actually, since we're talking about this, I also want to bring up some things that I feel like have gotten, misconstrued in the past.
Yeah.
So no, it's not that you didn't have game. I was 14 years old. I was not allowed to talk to boys.
Okay. Yeah, that does make a difference.
That
It's
is 14. The difference.
Now, it's funny that she said that this is something that gets misconstrued because in the interviews that she's talked about her husband before, she's always let us know that they were 14. Like that has never been misconstrued. The conversation has always been that when the two of them, got to know each other, whatever, that she was 14 years old. She said it before.
Mr. Steph Curry,
Yeah, with some things, I think a lot of persons gonna give her a pass. But at the end of the day, getting married at 14, being in love with someone at 14, didn't explore it, so sometimes that's why she feel that way, and that's why she speak up about like those type of stuff. But to know someone from 4, that's like the beginning of high school. To know someone from that point on to up to today, until you're like 30 something, or you're early 30s, that's long. That's long. But that's what she was talking about in the previous video, that she feel like she want to feel the need to explore and stuff like that. But it's already long gone already. Like once you're married, you can't really go. Not really, but you can't go back, period. No time at all. You can't go back just like that. It's not like an overnight thing you're gonna go back to like your past life when you were like 14. No, you're growing now, you have kids. Some things you have to really take into consideration.
Met him in high school.
Yeah, I moved to the States at 14 to North Carolina, and that's actually where we met. He's one of the first people that I met in the States, but Just friends.
Now, I don't know if she is, referencing that to basically say that she's being held accountable as an adult for something that she said at 14 or, her ideologies at 14. But it's like, we always knew that she was a young teenager, but it's like in hindsight, even though you were young, the way in which you have communicated things about your husband have always landed you in places that people are like, girl, quit. Let it go. Don't talk about it in that way.
Yeah, no, I'm putting you. Yeah.
But did I think you were cute? Absolutely.
Now, her saying this now,
Yeah.
okay, is very different than what she said on the most recent podcast that she went on, in which she was, saying that he was like, the guy at church or whatever. And she never said that, right? She never said like, oh my gosh, he was so cute. The girl asked her so many different ways. Like the girl was trying to hand her, things that she can use to grasp on to change how the narrative was going to be out there.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or it was legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Like you never saw him as something, but I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or
no? Never.
And she asked her, she's like, was there anything there? Was there anything at all? Like, even though whatever, like, was there any kind of situation that made you feel? At no point did she ever say like, well, I really thought he was cute. Literally, Ayesha sat there in the interview and said, no, not at all.
But did you, I also heard you had a no athletes rule.
That is true.
So tell me about that.
A very disrespectful comment also on my part. It's so
okay.
Honestly,
okay. Thank you.
Now, when I heard Michelle Obama's brother say thank you, and I saw Steph Curry lean his head back and do that big belly laugh, to me that seemed, and this is just my personal opinion, it seemed very much like a lot of the conversations that she's had out there, that the two of them had at some point had some kind of sit down.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me as well. They have some form of sit down and talk about it. Like, just look into it for a brief moment and just visualize what you're actually saying. Just put some thought into it. If the kids see this, if family members see this, like, how do you think you're projecting yourself by saying these stuff?
Like, okay, the things that you be saying on these interviews are getting out of hand. It's making me look bad. You're making yourself look bad. The attention that you're wanting or the support that you're wanting, you're not going to get like a certain type of energy because, you are trying to play me.
No,
that's really nice to hear that.
Why is that disrespectful? I had very textbook, maybe misconceptions.
Like kind of frame like movie plots.
Ideas of athletes. The jock stereotype.
Okay.
Now, this is the thing, right? I love the way that Michelle Obama's brother is like, stereotypes. Claire, okay, yeah. You were wrong. I'm glad you said that you were wrong because I agree that you were wrong.
This is another thing that gets misconstrued. People, for some reason, think that in the past I've said that he wasn't my type. What I was saying was I didn't think I was his type. Yeah. Because this was Mr. Cool. Yeah. I kind of sold myself short and thinking like, oh, there's no way. He must just like me as a friend.
Now, this is the part of the interview where it's very interesting because sometimes when people come out and do like clarification, conversations or PR conversations or backpedaling kind of conversations, they forget that we were all there. Right? And I remember covering that interview that she did, that she said that she didn't want kids and she didn't want to be married and all of that.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married.
In that same interview is when she was like, oh, yeah, he was the cool guy at church. Right? Like he wasn't this, jock kind of guy or whatever that she was talking about, that he was like the cool guy at church.
But you're going to say like in high school, like on the court, you're like, at church, he was the guy.
At church.
Was he the basketball guy in high school or no?
Apparently he was, but I genuinely didn't pay attention to that.
Never once did Ayesha have this narrative in regards to these kind of conversations that
I think it's just blowing over like y'all heads at that. They were young at that point. It's not how much you could remember, but at least give her some grace. But at the end of the day, it's from, remember, look at it, from 14-year-old, from like 14-year-old. up to this point. That's some different level loyalty still though. That's some different level holding it down. Someone that could see the spark in you from like your 14-year-old.
She was, protecting herself because she thought that Steph Curry was out of her league and that, she just didn't want to be like embarrassed or whatever. Ayesha Curry has always kind of had this aura that she's the catch in the relationship, right? Like that she is the prize of the relationship. And, so much so that, even the late, great Kevin Samuels spoke about it.
She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. She thinks she's up here, and she thinks he's down here.
We have never gotten the impression that he was Mr. Cool. Like even when the interviewer asked her like, oh, he was like that cool guy or whatever. Remember, she's like at church.
But you're gonna say like in high school, like on the court, you're like at church, he was the guy.
At church. What? That never gave. Honestly, y'all, he was so cool that I didn't think that I was gonna be his type. I'm gonna be honest with you. She's never said that. Like this is letting us know that there was some conversations that was had possibly in the Curry household, and that now that
some PR fixing is actually was some preparation for this. Some PR prep was put into this one.
2 of them are sitting next to each other, that she is now having to clean up some of that argument, because when she has been talking by herself, she be saying anything. Okay, let's not forget when she sat down with Jada and was saying that, he get all the attention and she don't get none.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, there are all these women like throwing themselves. But me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. Because I don't want it, but it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
Let's not forget when she went on TV show The Real and, there was a guy out there serving drinks.
It's like also like having those thoughts, it should mostly stay in just your head or even none at all. But put it out in the public at such a high scale level. Remember, Steph Curry is like an all-star, famous basketball player. A lot of dudes look up to him. A lot of media outlet is watching and knowing and seeing, knowing what's up. To make those arguments or to make those claims, and it's not the first time, it's gonna create some form of controversy. It's gonna create a viral moment. Probably she's know what she's doing. Probably she just wanted a little bit of spotlight and then step back out and then step back in again. Who knows?
And she was fighting to keep her ring on.
Marcel.
Like, so this newfound conversation that she's having, this newfound clarity of her feeling like she was just so beneath him and he was so lucky to have given her a chance.
I didn't think I was his type. Yeah. Because this was Mr. Cool. Yeah. I kind of sold myself short and thinking like, oh, there's no way. He must just like me as a friend.
Is absolutely a backtrack. Okay? It is 100,000,000,000% a backtrack. For sure.
Ayesha.
So I won't even take it.
Ayesha.
I'm glad it did.
Ayesha.
She left the door open.
I'm glad I didn't get friend zone.
I would have to say.
Every time I texted her call, she picked up the phone
Yeah.
after that was a full court press. So.
Now, Craig Robinson, which is Michelle Obama's brother, I love that he is like calling her out, right? Like, I love that he's like,
Ayesha.
So I won't even take
Ayesha.
it. I'm glad it did.
Ayesha.
She left the door.
girl, please. Like, girl, don't come up here with that foolishness. You didn't think that you were his type. You were selling yourself short and all this kind of stuff. Girl, please. Don't sit here and be fronting to our face. Like, don't do that. I love that he is like, I'm not willing to sit here and act like, you were just so, unaware of all these situations. Because, again, for all these years that we known you, that ain't nothing close to what we heard.
I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Now listen, Ayesha and Steph Curry have 4 children together. Okay? He not going nowhere. I just want everybody to be clear. From what I see, Steph Curry not going nowhere. That's who he want to be with. That's his wife. That's who he's standing beside, right? But it doesn't change the fact that people who love him as the athlete, love him for who he is, love that he's a stand-up guy, right? Like the fact that every time that he's ever been asked about his wife, he's always said good things about the conversation.
Married when you're 23 years old. Why get married so young?
Why waste time if you found the right one, right?
The fact that every time she's asked about the same life that the two of them are living together, she always has some kind of like negative connotation.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want.
Yo, the way she answered so quick is like she was waiting for that specific question. No, that's crazy.
Kids. I didn't want to get married.
That is going to affect the way that people feel about her, right? Because people are like, he is such a nice guy. Like he should be with a nice girl who appreciates him, who feels lucky to be in a relationship with him, who feels blessed to have him in her life or whatever.
But at the end of the day, we don't know how they interact behind closed doors. You know, it could be in a good way, it could be in a bad way. But at the end of the day, probably that's just how they handle things. Probably how they handle things behind the cameras, behind the fame and everything. It's way different than how we are over exaggeration and thinking about. Because social media and the media is totally different from reality in itself. But it kind of exposes how she's actually going through or what she's actually feeling in that moment. All right?
And at the very least, at least stands beside him publicly in a way that she honors him. Right? And so that is public opinion.
She does not view Steph Curry as the NBA All-Star World Champion basketball player. She views Steph Curry as this guy that her mom and dad and her parents told her, you need to marry and secure the bag. She didn't want to be there.
Right? And so that is public opinion. And people are right to be valued at their opinions. People are right to have a stance. Right, and to look from the outside looking in, because there's so many various different people who are not in relationships or marriages that their wives are at the fore.
Exactly. Persons that are single, that never experienced marriages, that never experienced even a relation, even young folks that never experienced marriage have an input to say. So you can't watch the world or you can't watch what social media is saying. Follow your heart. Right? Be close with God so you can know discernment and know. Just follow what you know within yourself what's right to do. Right? You know what the right stuff that you gotta do or need to be done.
Forefront of constantly, for lack of better words, humiliating them. Right? Like there's so many other athletes that we see out there that they be doing some crazy stuff, and we don't see their wives at the front line talking about them, talking bad about them, talking about how they never wanted them, or they never wanted the lifestyle, or they never wanted the, it just doesn't come across good, right? This in particular conversation that the two of them have had and are having, I think that it definitely is, again, some kind of a backtracking moment, a chance for him to be sitting beside her and clarify certain things and kind of clean up the conversation.
So tell me about that.
A very disrespectful comment also on my part. It's so
okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
But I think if we are being honest, in this situation, there was a lot of things that weren't misconstrued.
Yeah.
Right? If we're just being honest, there was a lot of things that weren't misconstrued. There was a lot of things that we heard what you said, but now maybe you don't mean what you said, but we heard you. Like, we absolutely heard you the first time.
I didn't think I was his type. Yeah. Because this was
A lot of people is gonna say what you said already, you can't take it back. Like that's how they're gonna view from this point on. That's how they're just gonna look at it. Can't change person's opinion. Right?
Mr. Cool.
So you're going to say, like, in high school, like, on the court, you're like, at church, he was the guy.
At church.
What?
I think it's a good thing. If this is, like, a new thing that she's going to be doing where she is not going to stand in the gap and say certain things, if she is going to now, decide to change her tune, I'll never say that's a bad thing at all. And for whatever reason, if it's for PR, if it's for, I will never say it's a bad thing that she is going to now change her tune and stop embarrassing or humiliating, like I said, her husband.
A reporter actually literally said on live television she needs to sit there and look pretty like other people.
Right? And maybe he himself don't find nothing wrong with it. Maybe he's a happy wife, happy life kind of guy, whatever it is. But the fact that she is now no longer going to put herself out there, that her husband's only negativity that he has in the media is because of his wife, I think that is a great thing. I think that's a great thing.
It's not that bad, because if you look at other persons out there in the media, it's the other way around. Or you're not even noticing their wife. You're not even but they're so in the spotlight of for so many things of the wrong reason. So for she to come out and do stuff like this, not that bad in a sense, but it does create some form of negativity from his end because of him. All right, so it's a give and take.
A lot of people like to lead to the argument like, oh, they got together when they were 14 years old or super young, whatever the case is, and they built this family together, and so
that's what she's gonna use to get away with, get away with a lot of these stuff, because at the end of the day, 14-year-old, they know each other for 14 years of age, bro.
There's ebbs and flows, and there's going to be, different things that come up as you grow and you mature. Yes, but as you grow and you mature and you evolve, you can also do that not on every interview. Like, not every time you talk or you're
Facts. I 100% agree. Not every interview you're going to speak. Like, those most of the things that she said the last time on the interview should just something maybe in her thoughts, not to project out the person, but probably just how she was feeling that day. It could be even that as well. But guys, let me know what you guys are. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Remember, we're watching these videos as if like you're here. We're making a bit of discussion. All right. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.